It's a beautiful day, 66 degrees. And I want to talk about, I'm looking at these beautiful flowers in it. Since I have two saints I want to talk about today, I'm going to mention the one that I would consider, I would consider, let's just say I'm going to choose the lady first. How about that? Saint Elizabeth of Hungary. I've read about her before, I'm pretty sure, and I read it slightly different with different details. But she was a princess, married to Prince Louis at 13 years old. She built a hospital, tended to the sick herself. Her family opposed this. I think it was her in-laws. I think it was Louis's family that opposed it because she is the patron of in-laws complaining. So I say there were some details. I read this maybe last year, or did the saints come on the 3-year cycle, or are they the same? I don't know how that works. Stop. Maybe the 3-year cycle is only for the readings of Mass on Sunday. I don't know how. She insisted that she must follow Christ's teaching, giving to the poor, rather than theirs. There was one incident where she was taking food to the poor and the sick. The prince stopped her to see what was under her mantle, what was under her, like her cloak, her coat. And the food was miraculously turned into roses. I think the other thing I read, if this is the same person, and I'm sure she is, I think I read that she was forbidden. She kept giving so much food away, they thought she was going to give everything away, and she was forbidden to give to the poor. But anyway, when Louis died, she sold all that she had and worked to support her 4 children. She gave gifts of bread and grain to Germany during a famine, so she's known as a patron of bread and grain, I believe. She gave all her possessions to the poor. She gave one of her castles to make a hospital at the bottom of the mountain. And twice a day she went to visit the sick there. She cared for the most repulsive, the worst cases of sickness. Her husband gladly approved, and when her husband died, she wanted to go house to house. She asked her spiritual advisor if she could go house to house to beg for alms, but he tried to resist her urge to do that. On Good Friday of that same year, she renounced all her worldly possessions. She was said to be, by her spiritual advisor, extremely contemplative. At her death, she asked to give all her possessions away except for one worn-out dress that she wanted to be buried in. She gave a confession, received Eucharist, and afterwards, during Vespers, she spoke nothing but holy things that she had heard in sermons. So she recalled the sermons that she had heard on her while she was dying. And then she devoutly commended to God all who were sitting there with her. She fell into a gentle sleep and died. And I just thought that was beautiful. And I think that's how I'd like to go with my family. And if those family and friends that I have who are not returned to the church, have not returned, or are not resolved to trying to live, a life that's headed towards God, if they're not, that's what I'd like to do, is have them sit there and say, as I'm dying, God, I commend them to you. I leave them into your hands. It's up to you now. I'm not here. I can't do anything else. It's up to you to bring my children to heaven and my family and friends to heaven. Anyone who is not, by that point, resolved to the church. So I think seems like a wonderful. I mean, anything that gets the job done. If you go, like, whatever it takes. If you go in a car accident and those people who are obstinate to believe in God decide it's time to pray, and that's what brings them back, so be it. Whatever. But I thought Saint. I thought, what a lovely Saint Elizabeth of Hungary. What a lovely example. What a beautiful flower she was. She only lived 24 years. 1201 to 1207 to 1231, whatever, something, 24 years. So, yeah. Ladies, listen to that. Pass this around to any other women, young girls, older women, whatever, around you as a great example of a woman of faith and a woman who is in heaven now, and that's where you want to be. So there's a good example. There's a good example of how to get there. So do that. Pray for the souls in purgatory. Ask. Why is it I'm having a problem with her name? Ask. Goodness. Ask St. Elizabeth of Hungary to pray for you, as well as the three St. Agnes, St. Clare, yesterday St. Gertrude. Dog, you're pulling on me. And the other saint yesterday was St. Margaret of Scotland. Pray for us.